Success in Exile. It's not only the name of her book, it's also her hallmark. I'm Andrea Oliver, and on this edition of LkldNow in View, I talk with a woman who lost the land but gained a home. So excited to be at the Bella Visage Spa once again with my dear friend Teresa Martinez. And Teresa, I want to give props tonight to my hairstylist, Miss Sharita Hawkins, Total Perfection, because I figured if I'm talking to the Latina queen, that I have to come like the Caribbean queen.
And you are the Caribbean queen,
so,
have always been.
Oh my goodness. So here we are, and it's been a strange year, but I know whatever kind of year you're facing, you are just the kind of woman to get things done. So how's it been for you this year?
Well, it has been certainly different, but like you say, if life gives you lemon, you make lemonade.
You make lemonade. And you've been doing that
all
along. The book is Success in Exile. And Teresa, you paint an idyllic picture of Cuba, your homeland, born in Santa Clara. And you talk about traveling and going to the beach, playing on the beach. You talk about playing between the palm trees and then getting to visit family on both sides of your home. And that was the life you knew growing up with your doctor dad and your mama homemaker. And then one day, all of a sudden, you're a teenager and poof, yes,
it's
poof,
gone.
It's gone. You were told that you had to flee your homeland, Cuba. What was that like?
We weren't told that we had to flee the island. We decided to flee the island, just like so many millions of Cubans have done, because we lost our freedom.
Yes.
And when you lose your freedom, you need to look for other avenues.
Yeah. And so family decided to pick up and come to the United States. It wasn't a decision that you really had any part in. You're a teenager. You're just going to do what mom and dad says.
Exactly.
You landed in Miami.
But not so easily.
But
we just didn't decide to
go,
get up and go. It took us 8 years to get that permission to leave the island. So the story is very deep.
It's deep. You talk about putting mattress and all kinds of things across the fence, just trying to lighten the load so that you can actually leave everything you know.
Exactly. See, what happened is when Castro took over Cuba, we lost our freedom of speech. We lost our freedom to decide whether we even were going to go to the beach. Yes. We had to tell, there was a committee in this the street, and we had to ask permission. We had to ask permission for everything. We lost the right to go to church. We lost, when you lose.
Were you I mean, I'm calling it a child, you were a teenager. Were you seeing that stress on your family?
Well, yes. You figure that when Castro took over, I was 5. And by the time we left, I was 15. So I lived 10 years in communism. And I saw how families were destroyed, how we lost the right to even communicate with the people that had left the country. We had a brain drain. So all the people that realized at the beginning that we were going to be losing our private properties, even our homes.
Yes.
If we left the home, we lost the home. It's funny because socialism is like the feathers of a peacock, highly ornamental, but not of too much use in high winds.
Wow.
It sounds beautiful. I love it, equality for everybody. But when
the underlying story,
when you have no freedom to own your own business, to decide what career you're going to study, to be able to say what you think, when you fear death, when you fear that you're going to be put in jail. My uncle was killed because he simply said something that the government didn't like. So you live in fear. But it sounds really good.
Yeah.
Free education, free medicine, free everything. But really, how free is it when you don't have freedom?
Well, talk to us about coming to the United States, because even though it was and it has become the land of your dream,
yes, this is my home.
This is home. Those of us in the diaspora, we know that this is home, but it wasn't necessarily an easy road.
Well, no, because you come as a teenager. All we brought was the clothes we had on. So basically, from being a doctor's daughter, I was a homeless child, you know. Didn't know the language. I had to start studying in English. I had no friends. I had no real style, you know. It was hand-me-down. It was tough, but you know, you survive.
You survive.
Because
you learn
have
the
to
language.
Look at the horizon.
You
know.
learned the language, and there's a wonderful story in the book Success in Exile about that landlord, that landlady in Davenport, in Bartow. I'm sorry, yes, in Bartow, who took time because she saw you crying, and I have to believe that it's all those experiences that have gone into the woman you are today, who understand the whole concept of not only turning the lemon into lemonade, but helping to serve others. You ended up in the schoolroom in Central Florida teaching.
Because I wanted to teach my language. I love my language. I love my culture. I never wanted to lose that. So I made sure to study Spanish.
Yes.
And become a teacher. And then not only teach Spanish, but I also taught about my experiences, and I always told my students, do you know how lucky you are to live in the United States of America? And then I told them my story, and that's when I always got their complete attention.
The story is vivid to you. Even though it's been many years, it still remains vivid to you. What do you think is the most poignant part of that story, of fleeing a land but gaining a home?
Well, you know, when all the doors open for you, I think that, you know, the word discrimination, I have never felt that. I think because my family came with an open mind.
Yes.
We are from another country. So anything that people do for us that is positive here, we're really, really going to appreciate it. And we knew who we were. My father was very well educated, and all he needed was what he brought with him is in here, something that no one can take
away from you.
Exactly, no one can take away from you. And we have always had people help, and so this is why I give back to the community. Give back because that's what we had, a lot of help.
You got out of the school system because I knowing the Teresa, I think I know, it was going to be too small for you, so to speak. And so
I love teaching.
Yes, but you didn't stop teaching. In fact, you had an Institute of Communication.
I opened the Institute of Spanish Communication.
And it was to teach and to reach out. What did you envision that institute would look like, and how is it today?
Well, you know, things always just kind of fall in my lap. I had the opportunity to teach for companies, and I taught for several companies. And then later, one of my students became an attorney and said, I need you to interpret for me in the courtroom. And I did that. And then some other company needed a translation. And before I knew, we were translating, interpreting, teaching. And
as a matter of fact,
many years.
You did translation for the Miss Universe pageant, didn't you? How did that come about?
Oh, that was wonderful. How did that? That was because my little student, Richie Lopez, who is an attorney today, told me, hey, they're looking for someone like you that can work with teenagers and at the same time talk to them in their language. And so I was in charge of the Hispanic Miss Universe contest.
That is amazing. Now, you've continued to reach out, and you've become quite the media mogul, because not only have you done television, you do have your own radio show, Hablemos.
And 99.9.
Yes, and then not too long ago, as if you didn't have enough doing, you decided to start your own magazine.
My last hurrah.
Is it really though? Viva Polk. Tell us about
Viva
that.
Polk. Well, Viva Polk is right now the only community magazine in Spanish here in Polk, and we have poured our heart into it, trying to inspire, motivate, promote our businesses, just do something that everyone from the Hispanic community, which is growing and growing. We want everybody to be proud of Viva Polk and to go and vivapoke.com and subscribe.
Absolutely. Now, Teresa, you have continued to contribute. You've continued to lift up Hispanic people wherever they are from, living in this community, continue to share stories. And I know that in a very crucial election year, it is important that you continue to educate, you continue to motivate. What is the dialogue that you're having either on your radio show or in Viva Poke, sharing with Latinas in this community about the posture that ought to be taken in an election year?
Well, it doesn't matter what party you're favoring, okay? What is important is that you exercise that freedom to vote, to have a voice, to say, this is what I like to see happening to this country where I live right now. And so I inspire everybody to go vote. And I'm so honored to have Dr. Marta Santiago, Commissioner Santiago, with me at the magazine, writing and inspiring other Latinas to, Latinas are Latinos.
Latinos, yes.
Okay? Everyone that can vote, get out and vote, because that is your right and your voice.
I know you don't like to talk about this, but I want to mention you have done so much in this community that not only was a day set aside by Polk County Commissioners, June 6th, I think it was, to name it Teresa Martinez Day, but a while back, the governor of the state of Florida named you a Point of Light, got you a Point of Light award. Tell us about that.
What am I going to say? I'm just lucky, I guess. I am very proud of it. I make my family proud. I hope my children look at that and say, my mom was someone that people respected, especially if you're respected by the governor. And I guess the governor also made me a trustee at Polk State College. You know,
Yes.
So that's another one of my great prides.
Dad is still alive. Dr. Vasquez, retired, but still alive. I'm sure he is proud of his daughter and the success that you are, not only to this Latin American community, but to communities at large. If you think, or when you think about yourself, do you consider yourself a success?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes, I do, because I believe success is being happy. And I am happy. I have a happy family. And when you say Dr. Vasquez, yes, everything that I have done is to make my parents proud and to thank them for bringing me to this country.
Teresa Martinez, you are indeed a point of light. Thank you so much for being on LkldNow in View, and continue to do the great work that you're doing in this community.
It has been an honor. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Another great conversation coming up when next we meet. I'm Andrea Oliver, and this is LkldNow in View.